So hi, hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm back with another DSA problem from LeetCode. So today we are going to solve another problem, that is string to integer. Okay. So the name of the problem is string to integer. Okay. So what we need to do in this particular question is we need to simply convert the string value into integer. But there are some rules, okay, to be followed while converting string to integer. Okay. So let me first read out this question. Okay. So implement the A2I string function which converts a string to a 32-bit signed integer. Okay. So we need to implement a function which basically converts a string into a 32-bit signed integer. Okay. Signed means either it's positive or negative. Okay. So during conversion, we need to follow some rules. Okay. So here are some rules to be followed. So the first rule which says is, if in that particular string, if the given string, suppose we are given one string like space. So the first character of the string, suppose there is space, nothing is there, then 1, 2, 3. Then this is the input. Okay, this is the input, and we need to convert this string into integer. So the first rule says here is, if the string contains a leading white space. Okay, so as we can see here, this particular string contains leading white space. Leading means in the initial part of that string, if it contains white space, then we need to ignore that white space. So while returning, we need to discard this white space and we need to simply return 1, 2, 3, not in the form of string but in the form of integer itself. The input is given in the form of string. As you can see, string is always in the double quotes, but while returning in the output, we need to return in the form of 32-bit signed integer. Fine. Now let me read the second rule. So the second rule says is, we need to determine the sign by checking if the next character is minus or plus. Okay. now we need to determine sign. Okay. So suppose we are given any input like 1, -1, 2, 3. In this case, we need to determine by checking if the next character, if the character is minus or plus, then what I need to do, we need to return with that particular sign in the output. Okay. So suppose if we are not given any sign, neither negative nor positive, in that case we need to return 1, 2, 3 in positive form. Okay. So this is the second rule. Now coming to the third rule, what the third rule says is conversion. Read the integer by skipping the leading zeros until a non-digit character is encountered. So let me take one example here. Suppose we are given input as, okay, suppose we are given input as 0, okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. So this is the given input we are having. Okay. Now we need to read the integer by skipping leading zeros. We need to read the input by skipping any leading zeros. Leading zeros, if we are having any zero in the initial part of the string, then we need to skip that 0. Okay, until, okay, and we need to keep reading the elements. Okay, until a non-digit character is encountered. We need to keep reading the integers. Okay, so we already skipped this 0, as the rule says that we need to skip the leading 0. So I keep reading the forward elements like 1. Okay, this is a integer, so I'll read this. Okay, this is also integer, this is also integer. So we will keep reading until we find any non-digit character. Non-digit character means what? So digit is what? Digit is the value between 0 to 9. So non-digit other than 0 to 9, if any elements we found while reading, then what we will do, we will end the reading. Okay, so we will keep reading the string values until we find any non-digit value. So we read till here, then after that what we find A. Okay, so this is not a digit. So this is not a digit. This is a non-digit value. So we will stop here itself. We will stop here itself, and we will return 1, 2, 3 in the form of integer. Okay, so what this question says, we will read the integers by skipping the leading zeros until we find any non-digit character. Okay, we find non-digit character here. So we read here to here 1, 2, 3. So we will return only 1, 2, 3 as the output in the form of a integer. Okay. Now, if after that we find any 0 or anything else, then in that case, what we need to return? We need to return 0. Okay, fine. So we need to return 0 in that case. If the string itself containing no elements, I mean 0, then in that case, we need to return 0. Okay, so this is about the third rule. Now, moving to the fourth rule. So the fourth rule says is if the integer is out of 32-bit signed integer range. Okay, so as we are aware that integer having some range. So the lowercase range is -2 to the power 31, and the uppercase range is 2 to the power 31 minus 1. So if the output integer is beyond this range, then in that case, what we need to do here is we need to round the integer in the range itself. Okay, suppose if the integer is less than this lowercase, then what I need to do is we need to round that particular integer into this lowercase range value. Okay, or else if the integer is greater than 2 to the power 31 minus 1, then we need to round that value into this uppercase value. Okay, so this is all about the fourth rule. So we need to take care of all these rules while converting string to integer. Okay, so I hope you guys understood this. So let me explain how we can implement this logic, okay, while following all these rules. Okay, so let me write the code here. Okay, so first of all, what I'll do here is I'll just simply check. So this is our function. As you can see, this is our method to convert string value into a integer value. Okay. So first our task is what? Our task is to check whether this particular string is null or not. So in this, what I'm checking just if that particular string is containing nothing, having null value, then in that particular case, we need to return 0. Okay. Now, so the next thing what I need to do here is, as the question suggests here, if the string contains any, suppose our input string is given as 1, 2, 3. Okay. So in that case, we are having a white space in the first character of the string. So in this case, we need to ensure that to remove that white space from the string. Okay. So for that, what I'll do is, in Java we have inbuilt method that is trim. Okay. In Java we are having a inbuilt method that is trim. So what this trim do is, this trim just remove the white spaces from left side and right side of the string. Okay. So if the string contains any white spaces in the left side or in the right side, then this method basically removes the white space. Okay. So we will use this method in our code. Okay. So let's write. So this is our string, and we will apply that trim method. Okay. Fine. So what I did here is I just trim the string. If that string containing any white space, okay, then this method will basically remove the white spaces from left side or right side as well. So after that, what I'll do is I'll create a variable. So before creating variable, I need to check whether that string is containing with 0 length. If that string is having length 0, in that scenario also we need to return 0. Okay. Suppose we are having any string value. Okay, any string value with 0 length. This does not containing anything. In that case, what we will return? We will return 0. Okay. In that case, what we will return? We'll return 0. After that, what I'll do? I'll create a sign variable. So by default, if that input variable does not contain any negative or positive sign, then by default it will be positive. By default it will be positive. Again, So to store my result, okay, suppose I have converted from string to integer, then I need a variable to store that output. Okay, so I'll create one variable of long type, okay, with name answer, and initially I have initialized with 0. Okay, at this point I have initialized with 0. Now I'll check here if, so by default my sign value will be positive. If I don't find any positive or negative sign, then on that time we I will assume is at positive. Okay, but if that particular string containing any negative or positive sign, then we need to check. So I'll write in here if condition, if s dot char at in the 0th position is equal to minus, then I will assign sign is equal to -1. Okay, I hope you guys clear with it. Now our next move is, suppose, so I'll think about rounding off. So in the rules it is already mentioned that if that output or the value which I converted into integer and that value is beyond of our range, then we need to round off into that particular range itself. Okay, so for that I'll first of all I'll define a min variable, and inside that I'll assign that minimum value, that is 2 to minus 2 to the power 31. So how I can get integer dot max value. So this is the value of minimum. I mean, sorry, here minimum will be there. Now for maximum value, max is equal to integer dot max value. Okay, now so what will be our next approach? So our next approach will be, I will be checking. So I'll be initializing our I variable. Okay, so before initializing I will check that the first character containing any positive or negative value. If it contains any positive value, then I will start with the second character of that string, or if it contains, or if does not contains either negative or positive, then I'll start with 0th index itself. For example, let's see here. Okay, let's see here. We are having -1, 2, 3. Okay, suppose, so in this particular string, this is 0th index, this is 1 index, this is 2 index, and 3 is standing at 3rd index. So I'm going to check here if at the 0th index minus is there. Okay, minus sign is there, then I'm going to start with the first index from here. Okay, if the 0th index contains any of the sign, either minus or plus, then I'm going to start with the first index part. Okay, from here itself. Okay, so for that I'm going to write the logic here. So I'm to initialize the starting point. So here int I is equal to 0, not 0, sorry. So s dot char at 0. I'll check if the first character of the string having any sign, either positive or or negative, then what I'm going to do here is, okay, so let me explain here. So if first of all it will check here if the character in that string, if the first character, I mean 0th part of the character, 0th index of this character containing any positive value. containing any positive value, then it will start with first index. Okay, or else if the zeroth index of this string containing negative sign, then also it will start with first index. Okay, or else if neither of any sign contains in the zeroth index, then it will start with by default it will start with zeroth index itself. Okay, now 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 I'll so let me check here. So here it is wrong. No. Now I'll move and I'll define a while loop here. So in while loop, what will be the condition here? I'll iterate I until the length of that string. Okay, until the length of that string. So inside that while loop, I'll define a if condition, and what I'll write in if condition is if s dot char at I is equal to space or character dot is digit s dot char at I. Okay, so if any of these condition becomes true, then what I'll do, I'll break here. I'll break this loop. Okay, so now after that, what I'll do here is I'll assign the values, all the values, that is answer into 10 plus s dot char at minus 0. So after that, I'll check one more condition is left here. Okay, one more condition is left here. So the condition is if our output integer value is beyond the range, then it will round up to either lower or uppercase value range. So for checking, what I'll do here is, so I'll write sign is equal to -1 and -1 into ans less than minimum. Then what I'll do here is I will directly return minimum. Fine. So then this is for the lower case. For the upper case, I'll write if sign is equal to 1 and answer is greater than max. Then what I'm going to do here is I'll return max. After that, I'll keep doing increment of I. So this is done. So after that, what I'll do, I'll directly return our sign into answer. Whatever sign will be that there, I will multiply with the answer. So what this will return is, this will return the output. But one more thing is left here. So here the return type is int, but here what we are returning, what is answer? So answer type is long. So this could be problematic. So for that, what I'll do, I'll change this into integer type. So I'll typecast here. Okay. So hope you guys understood. So let me run this and check. Okay, so there is one problem in line number 34. Okay, so we are able to execute this code. So all the test cases are successfully passing. Okay, as you can see, so all the test cases are passing. Test case 1 is also passing, 2 is also passing, 3 is also passing, 4 is also passing, and 5 is also passing. So hope you guys understood this question. So this is very easy. Okay, and if you have any doubt, let me know in the comment section. Okay, so if you guys like this video, do like, share, and subscribe. Okay, so thank you guys for watching this video. So I have submitted this problem. So this is successfully submitted. Okay, so thank you guys for your time.